We were here for a year. He couldn't wait to get back to the Rebbe. He was going out of his mind. All right, finally, 8 months after we came, he went to New York for Chafov. He went in on Yechidus to the Rebbe. All right, I'm an American girl. He's a Russian guy. He never spoke on Yechidus. The Rebbe would talk to him. He would ask him a question. He wouldn't answer. He wouldn't open his mouth. The Rebbe knew he wasn't going to get anything out of him. At that Yechidus, the Rebbe said to him, write, because he knew he wouldn't talk, write and describe the relationship between you and your wife. I have challenged Lubavitcher audiences many times. Do they know any man or woman who the Rebbe asked to have a description of the relationship between the husband and wife? This was on Tuesday. He went in on Thursday, and he brought in a letter. I was too proud to ask him what he wrote in that letter. Okay, so I have no idea. But he did tell me the last line, because the Rebbe was magiyet. And the last line was, Efsher lei hayisi tzorich leha'arich kol kach b'ma'alei seha. Maybe I should not have been so profuse in her praise. Maybe I should not, the Rebbe crossed out the not, have been so leha'arich, the Rebbe underlined twice. This is Thursday. Okay. Sunday morning, he was leaving Sunday night to come back to Milan. Sunday morning, the head secretary of the Rebbe, Rabbi Chadakov, says to him, oh, you're going back today? I'm fine. Are you bringing your wife a present? He says, yes. What are you bringing her? Cake. There was nothing here. There was no kashrus. There was nothing. And I'm such a nasher. So he knew what to bring. So Rabbi said, oh, cake, nice. Maybe you should get her something gold. Well, okay, if you think so. Okay. What do you suggest? And he really didn't have much imagination. He said, a watch. Do you mind if I help you pick it? My husband says, fine, no problem. But it was Sunday. The stores were closed. Rabbi Simpson had just started. Today they have a big, beautiful jewelry shop in Borough Park, but then he had just started in business. Then they called him up, and he brought a suitcase of watches into the Mercus office. And there, the 2 or 3 secretaries, my husband, this one said, this watch is this, da, 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 da. At a certain point, Rabbi Chadakov took all the watches and brought them into the Rebbe. Wow, when my husband saw this, he nearly fainted. Out came Chadakov, and the Rebbe said, if there's time, the face of this with the band of this. And if there isn't time, then this one. And he sent out, this was at the end of beginning of Elul, Ambachser, the Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur. He said, and this is my present to her. Hadassah, when my husband came home, had I asked him for the moon, he would have walked straight up and gotten it for me. He didn't know what to do for me. I ask you, what was the Rebbe trying to do here? My husband didn't complain about our relationship. I didn't complain about the relationship. All of a sudden, the Rebbe has nothing else to do but to worry about our relationship. And good. So he got a nice letter that it's Baruch Hashem, very nice. So, and he teaches my husband, bring her a present. Obviously, it wasn't the secretary's idea. And that is the reason you would think such a private story. Why should I tell it in public? But I purposely tell it because you even asked, wow, what does the Rebbe feel about this? How does the Rebbe feel about that? How does he feel about women? You know what? One of my latest messages, in our later years, the Rebbe had once said to my husband, learn chitas with your balabasta, with your wife. Okay. Just a few months ago, my daughter-in-law in New York asked me if my son is a Rav in a shul, so she asked me if I would give them a message to the women. And I said, the Rebbe told my husband that he should learn chitas with the balabasta. He didn't say teach it to her. He said learn it with her, as though we were two equals. Learn it with her. I said, now the Rebbe told us already, my children were grown and we had time to do it. I know you don't have time to do it because you're young mothers. You have Kanhara young children and you have whole households to take care of. Your husbands are at work all day and you're busy. I said, but 5 minutes? Is there anyone that can say that they don't have 5 minutes in a day? I said, I would suggest that for 5 minutes a day, you and your husband sit and learn together. 5 minutes. Obviously, you won't be able to do all of Chitas. Choose what you want. You want to do the Chumash, you want to do the Tanya, you want to do, and you won't be able to do all of it. In any case, makes no difference. Create an island for you and your husband. 5 minutes a day. No telephone, no children, nothing. Just you and your husband. Okay, you and your spouse. And that will be an island that will be only yours. And you'll see, with time, the 5 minutes will become more. It won't stay just 5 minutes. But those 5 minutes will make the difference in your lifetime, in your relationship with your husband.